Okay, edge shearing. I'm going to use a buffalo horn. I like it because it's the best shearing tool on the planet, hands down, as far as not getting scrunching thick areas for peeling flakes off clean. Sometimes if you want to keep the edge up, you can use a little piece of leather like this. Right now I'll just sort of do some quick shearing with a rocking motion. I've got, actually let's not do that because you're not going to get a buffalo horn. Well, if you can, then maybe I'll do one later, but let's just do, let's just use the antler to do it, because that's probably what people are going to use in. This is a worn out. When I do the shearing, I don't like to use a finer point just because I don't want to spend my pointy antlers doing tedious work. I'm just going to use the broad facet of this antler and just do some nibbling. So let's just do some nibbling. On small points, I don't like to put the pointy tip on too much right off the bat, because then something can happen and you can have a symmetry issue and have to straighten your tip, or you can be pressing down and pop a tip off. So I'll just leave it a little clunky. This whole thing is clunky, but okay. So our edges are a little bit thickened in areas where we want them thickened to do some finish. You can do finish punch work with a smaller little punch, or you can do pressure work. And so let's do some notching now. What should we use? You can use bones, you can use antler, you can use a punch for something like this. Maybe I do so much punch notching, I could hold this thing back with my fingers and do it super fast. But people that aren't used to that tend to get antlers that they push down too much and they roll, or they have problems with releases and they get stalled up. So let's just, most of y'all are probably going to, on something like this, want to do pressure. So let's just do that. So this is actually, I need a better, I should have had all this ready. I'm not going to do a stop here because it'll just, I don't want to use my favorite ulna. Let's use this. This is a piece of buffalo rib. So let's make a little side notch piece. So I'm going to get up, since this rib is flat, I'm going to want this piece up a little bit, or else I'm going to have a hard time where I want to use this getting on the bottom. So I'm going to raise this up a little bit. I'm going to get a grab somewhere in the middle, holding it down with my thumb. And I'm just going to start flaking. I'm not going to make it too narrow notched, because I've got to push through this area of the cortex here. So I got started. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to need to get a little pressure pop out here. Thicken it just right. Get in, push down, and I'm going to try to really... Now my tool is, it's not in the air, right? Some people try to pressure notch and they're up here like this. I've got my finger pushed in the side of my leather here. So I've got a little fulcrum, and then I'm just going to go ahead and push down with my thumb on the back part of this, not on the front. Smush down because I need to get a little pop out. Oops. There. See that? And I'm going to do this too wide, so I'm going to come back down and give it a little pop out here. There we go. I'm going to come back here, do another one. There. Maybe get one more. There. Boy, that is an ugly notch. Maybe one more on this side. There. This is, I don't know what this point is. It's pretty ugly, but you could tie it on a stick and kill something with it. All right. There, sort of just hacked that in there, but okay. Now here's an example of where you can take a real ugly looking dime store arrowhead and turn it into a nice point working around the notches if you wanted to do some careful pressure flaking. So you can use an issue stick or you can use a little antler and just get rid of the thick spots on the edge. Put a little taper on the bottom if our edge is turned the way we don't want. We can do a little basal grinding on this thing, so we'll come in and just do a little, hold the tip up a little bit, just do these short flakes. Space, the brush, dull. You're working off a thin edge, right? So you're not abrading. You just find a little grab, and then you push the flake off, move, a little grab. Maybe now do some quick pressure flaking on the edges here. Just kind of do the same thing, just using this little leather shelf to keep my edge up so I'm just not getting little step flakes, and then pushing the point because I have a flat area to where I'm not going to have those flakes step. The reason why you want to do that is if you resharpen it, you won't have to run through steps. So dull press. Do a little shearing so we can come back the other way. A little thickening where we need to thicken. And we can put a tip on this. Now I'm going to hold the edge back like this, work on the tip, use my thumb underneath, and do a little dull. I've got a little really should be using the issue stick. It'd be so much easier, but then we'd have another, you wouldn't be able to see. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can even see this anyhow. It's probably not worth doing this for another 3 minutes. So let's just put a point on this and call it good. For an arrow point or dart, some crappy little whip out like this works as well as something nice, and the reason why there's so many points out there that are made better is, one, if you're having to use something and rework it a lot, the more ordered it is, the easier it is to fix and continually using it. And then it's just napping is fun, and people, you know, it's enjoyable to make things that are pleasing to them. What's pleasing to them and us is generally two different things, but the more you nap with traditional tools, the more you can kind of cipher and guesstimate why that may be. I could have long vlogs about that, but it would be part wrong, part insightful, and probably not really relatable to many people, so I don't do that part of it. This. Alright. Shaping and grinding. 11. Uh-oh.